Amen. Praise God, praise God, praise God. They usually do that as a doxology, but just the words itself, we can do it anytime, sing that song anytime, play that song anytime. We say to God be the glory, and we will forever give God praise. As long as there's breath in our body, we will give God praise. Well, welcome to our platform. Welcome to this platform, acknowledged as Project 365. I am Portia Wheatley. I am the founder and the president of a nonprofit organization acknowledged as Trophy of Life Incorporated, where we have the great pleasure of rendering hope, encouragement, and inspiration to the whole wide world. Wherever God says that we can take it, that's where it's going to go. And we're grateful to be his instrument in doing so. Well, we have a great share for you today. And we want to welcome to our platform, Carmi Washington-Flood. Welcome, Carmen.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here.
Such a blessing to have you as our guest on today. And before we release Carmi to do what she does best, and that's just to encourage and uplift and bring people inspiration, we would love if you would be a part of our team and go to our YouTube channel to subscribe. And when I say team, you become a part of our team to spread the gospel, to spread this message of hope, encouragement, and inspiration all around the world. We need you to do that. We cannot do that alone. I cannot do it alone. So we need each other. You're a part of my body. I'm a part of your body. We're definitely a part of the kingdom of God. So we're grateful again that you would consider going to our YouTube channel and subscribing. Well, Carmen, I am so excited. This woman, I tell you, she has energy all the time. You see that big smile that she has now? That's the way you see her all the time. And I do believe the last time I saw her, she had a cast on her wrist or arm or something. And I'm like, but she was walking around the conference. She was at a conference and walking around like it was fine. I'm like, still smiling, still energetic, still giving the gospel, still joking and all of that. But everywhere you see Carmi, it's always something that is uplifting, a spirit that uplifts others. And as I said, her smile and her spirit and her energy, it is contagious. It's contagious and it's genuine. That is the thing, it's genuine. So today she's going to share with us out of her spirit, out of her heart, some hope, some inspiration, and some encouragement. Carmi, have your way. Let the Lord use you. Do what you do. Smile, laugh, joke, whatever you want to do. I know it's going to be great. Thank you.
Bless you, bless you, Portia, and bless the work that God is doing in you. I certainly want to give a round of applause and a standing ovation for you not considering it robbery to take your resources and your ability and put them to work, not to glorify yourself,
absolutely,
but to glorify God and to edify the body and to terrify any enemies who would come against either. that is always wonderful. I am so honored that you have asked me to participate with you. And I will tell those of you who are in on this as observers here, when Portia calls, you sort of can't say no, number one, because she pulls you into the excitement of how the kingdom work should be done. And I will say that certainly speaks to your faith leadership. The Dennis's, Bishop Dennis, that speaks to, because good leaders create good leaders. I will say that. So for those of you who know me locally, you know that I come out of the St. Timothy's Christian Baptist Church, where the Reverends Dr. Carl and Minnie Washington are in leadership there right now. Reverend Carl Washington has gone home to be with the Lord. And so we know that he is waiting for the rest of us there. Right now, Reverend Dr. Minnie is serving in an incredible capacity. And for women who are unsure as to whether or not God has called you into leadership, let me just say, without a shadow of a doubt, God is still calling. We know that we are in the latter days because he said he's going to pour out his spirit upon all flesh. So if you have breath in your body, and if you are standing or sitting, if you are part of the creation of the Creator, guess what? The opportunity to be poured into is right here and right now. But Portia said, you know, Carmi, what I want you to do is I want you to just come, and if you had one thing to share, if you're going to leave people with one thing, what would that be? Well, that's a pretty tall task because you say, what would be the one thing? And as we were talking and looking at coming out of a very difficult year from last year, which, believe it or not, many people thought that was going to be the year of perfect vision. 2020, I mean, folks were ready. That, you know, they had their church themes all set. You know that. Everybody, 2020, perfect vision. Well, guess what? What we found ourselves was closeted spaces and closed off areas, and then some dark rooms, and then some isolated situations. That's what we found ourselves in. However, if we look at it from also that spiritual perspective, I'd say it was God giving us a chance to really take an inner look at what needed to be going on. So many times when we think of 2020 vision, we're always thinking of what we're looking out to see and not looking on the inside. So if I were going to leave people with one thought to like carry them through this brand new year of 2021, then I would encourage people to walk by faith and not by sight. I'm telling you, walk by faith and not by sight. And I say that for a variety of reasons. One, I'm a person, I actually have terrible eyesight. My eyesight, I have horrible eyesight. I come from a family that has horrible eyesight just from genetic concerns, okay? Horrible eyesight. But through the use of corrective lenses, I'm able to see. Now, if you think about that from a spiritual perspective, there are a lot of folks spiritually that have horrible eyesight. You know, and the terrible thing is, eyesight, when it starts going bad, at first you don't notice it. And we can become so accustomed to things looking hazy and blurry and out of focus, actually thinking we see enough to get by. And that's all we want to do. We want to see enough to get by without realizing that we aren't seeing clearly at all. That there's so much that we are absolutely missing. Walking by faith and not by sight means we are going to go beyond what our eyes are sharing with us. But we are going to go into a realm where our heart and our soul connection actually becomes the guide. That's why, you know, Portia, the old hymnists wrote those songs like "Guide Me, O Thou Great Jehovah, Pilgrim through this barren land. I am weak, but Thou art mighty. Hold me with Thy powerful hand," because they knew it doesn't matter what I see ahead, that if I don't have a good guide to take me through, I'm not going to make it through. Because the hills and the valleys present too much of a visual challenge for me. You know, you got some folks that show up with vision problems, and you'll hear about their different categories of vision problems, like nearsightedness. There are a lot of people that are nearsighted. When you think of that in the spiritual context, being nearsighted means you can only see things that are close up. When you're spiritually nearsighted, everything has to be within arm's reach, because really you don't have the patience, the interest, or the self-control to wait on the Lord and be of good courage. If it's not right there in front of you, you don't want it. You're trying to make God like a sugar daddy instead of a sovereign creator. Okay, you want to instantly have everything right there. You want to act like he's your personal ATM and not the almighty of the universe. No, when you have vision problems of spiritual nearsightedness, then you can't move ahead, because unless it's right there. And see, the thing is, you don't move closer so that you can see better. Many times people with spiritual nearsightedness, they move closer so that they can be seen better. I'm gonna just let that sit with you just for a minute, okay? So you get some nearsighted folks, but that isn't the extent of the vision problems. Some folks are far-sighted, okay? They far-sighted. They want to back up and get far away from the fray. They aren't like Portia, who says, I see a concern, I see a situation that I can step in and I can assist and I can use to uplift. Far-sighted folks are the cheaters, the chumps, and the chair huggers. All right. They procrastinate, they irritate, they aggravate. All right. They instigate a whole bunch of stuff. They don't have any progressive movement that promises to enlarge or expand. That's why I loved your opening that says, this is for people everywhere. You are certainly have gone from your Jerusalem unto the uttermost parts of the world. See, it is people who are farsighted that they are looking for something to say, well, down the road, I'll get to it. By and by, it'll happen. Let's wait and see. They use that not as something that is part of a creative planning process, but a way of stalling and holding up any kind of progressive movement. Because see, for these folks, there is no sense of urgency to get there. You know, but basically it's the K Sarah Sarah, whatever will be kind of thing. But believe it or not, that these kind of folks, far-sighted folks, they say, I'll cheat on my tithes this week because I'm waiting for the stimulus next week. All right. It's like they'll start a debate in a Bible study program because they haven't even studied the basic text for the day. It's like they will sit still saying that they're waiting to hear what their purpose is, even though it's been spelled out so many times in the Holy Writ. Okay. They're really church couch potatoes. and here the thing is, God certainly has a sense of humor. He does, because he's long suffering, he is patient, he is merciful, he is giving, and he is forgiving. But farsightedness can be cured if the light of the word is actually poured into folks. Now see, I'm one of those people that actually have physically, I have an astigmatism. Spiritually, there are folks with astigmatisms. I have a wonderful Black optometrist, though, and what she figured out, she said, Carmi, here's what we're going to do for you. We're going to give you one contact lens that sees far away and one contact lens that sees close up. And when we put them both together, you are going to be able to see clearly, because we made an adjustment, what? For my weakness. For my weakness. See, you got to go to the source that has the strength to handle your weakness. You've got to be willing to confess that I show up with lack, so that when I go to the source of my strength, I don't have to be embarrassed about what I don't have. I don't have to be embarrassed about what I am lacking. I don't have to be ashamed or feel guilty that I stand in need, because guess what? The source of our strength says, I can come boldly to the throne of grace, what? And find mercy right there. I'm not going to show up braggadocious. I'm not going to show up ego tripping, but I will show up boldly, because I'm coming to the one that has exactly what I need, exactly what I need. So that helps People who have double vision, they can't see straight for trying. You know, you can't, I'm telling, with astigmatism, you can't see straight for trying unless you get to the place and the source where your help actually comes from. You know, you don't want to be pushed by the whim of the crowd. You don't want to be conformed to this world, but you actually want to what? Be transformed by first the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. That there is one other condition that I just want to mention, because there's something called presbyopia. And it doesn't even show itself up until you get old and settled in your ways. That condition only shows up with longevity. How many times if somebody says, I've been here all my life? Well, you sure have, and you haven't moved an inch from when you started. So that doesn't become a mantle or a banner to wave, because everybody should have some forward movement. This march, when it says, I am on the battlefield, or I am marching for the Lord, this march isn't about marking time. It really is about moving forward. For folks who are so set in their ways, they get too holy to help. They get too saved to serve. Y'all know it. They get too blessed to be bothered with the likes of you. So we got to try and cure these types of spiritual sight maladies that happen. We got to correct the faultiness of our individual sight. And the only way we can do that is when we take our eyes off of ourselves and begin to seek Jesus. Begin to seek his will and his way for our lives. We can live in the confident expectation that things are going to come. We can actually stand firm in the existence of unseen realities, because that comes down to some of your goals for the program. That's what hope is all about. Hope isn't hope if I can see it. Hope is hope when I anticipate it. Hope is hope when I stand on tiptoe anticipation, knowing that it's on the way. Hope is hope when I stand trusting in the God that's greater than myself. Hope is hope when I give up and surrender me handling the situation, and I turn it over to somebody who can always handle the situation. That's where hope comes in. It makes me reach further. It makes me reach higher. It makes me press more diligently. It makes me look up and not look down. It makes me not even look around, because if my hope is on the same level that I'm on, then I'm in a bad situation. I need some hope that lifts me. I need some hope that supports me. I need some hope that makes me stand up. I need some hope that makes me what? Reach up. That's for sure. That's what I need. That's why old hymnist used to say, hold to his hand. God's unchanging hand. You build your hopes on things that are eternal. Eternal. Because what's happening now and what we're going through now, this is all going to pass away. It's a vapor that is here for a moment and then is gone. It's like the fog that you wake up and see in the morning, and before lunchtime comes, it's gone. Why is that? Because the sun has come up and has burned it off. It's like those dismal days that come through sometime, but it doesn't last always. And if I am walking by faith and not by sight, then I am not relying on me for the outcome. I am relying on the one who actually holds the period on eternity. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? So there's somebody who holds the period on eternity. He can open up the pathways. And if he opens up the doors, y'all know it, can't nobody else shut them. If he closed those doors, can't nobody else open them. That's hope. That's encouragement from my heart to your heart, because he is able. Whatever you're lacking, he is able. Whatever you stand in need of, he is able. Whatever are the desires of your heart, he is able. And more than that, he is also willing. Portia, thank you so much for
Thank
having me
you.
today.
Thank you. Thank you for that. The word of hope, the word of encouragement, the word of inspiration, knowing that we have to walk by faith and not by sight. And many people give up just by what they see.
Yes.
If they would just hold on just a little while longer, and not just hold on a little while longer, but hold on to the right one, and that's God himself.
Yes.
And we have to realize that we have to really walk by faith in the sense of strength for someone. We are the hope for someone, because they may not go to a church building, but since we are the church, they're going to look at us for strength.
Yes.
Only faith they see is what we live. So if we can really live what God has given us, the power of God that's in our lives, and live by faith, even those, whether it's young people, middle-aged people, old people, whoever, just people.
Yes.
Live the life that you know. You may not know as much as someone that has been in the faith for years and years, but live what little you know.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, because it goes back to, see, it just a little bit of faith. Faith, the size of a mustard seed, can so flourish because of my confidence, because of my assuredness, because of my determined walk and my definitive witness, because of my dedicated public presentation, because of the character of holiness of God, because of his righteousness, because of his might, because of his magnificence. All of that. That's where my faith lies, not in the faultiness of whoever got voted in last week, or whoever got a special appointment, or because your group suddenly was able to out lobby somebody else's. See, God says, I am God and I change not. I need faith in something that's unchangeable. I need faith in an entity that's unmovable.
No matter what.
No matter what. No matter what. He's the same yesterday, today, and even forever. See, that's the kind of faith I want to be able to count on.
Yes.
When you put your faith there, because in all honesty, don't put your faith in me. Your sights would be way too low. Because there are going to be days that I get up, and just like people have bad hair days, you got bad attitude days. You got bad discipleship days. You got bad witness days.
Right.
You got bad preaching days. Every preacher done had a bad preaching day. All right. Every missionary has missed the mission on some day. Every deacon has forgotten to be devoted on some day. Every usher wanted to slam the door in somebody's face.
Linda Jones, do you hear it? Linda Jones, do you hear it?
Yes, on some day. Every person that has served you food has wanted to throw it in your face on some day. All right?
That's so true. That is so true.
Those are the frailties and faults of the
man.
created and not of the creator.
One of the things I thought about, even with the word encouragement and walk by faith, when we look at some of the people that's trying to develop a relationship with God, they still may smoke, they still may drink, but if you see beyond
Yes.
what they are doing right now, see beyond what they're doing, and by faith you see a deacon, a missionary, just even if they're not a deacon or a missionary, a good person, you see a good mother, a good father. So those that are already strengthened and built up in the faith, still put that word of encouragement out there to
Yes.
them. You, sweetie, you can do this. And it's all in how you say it to the person.
Most definitely.
Don't
Most
stick your
definitely.
nose up at anybody. Don't, just when you're going up and something happens to you, you're going to see them when you come down. So
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
amazing. Anyone that has breath in their body, know that you have purpose. And if your purpose is just saying a kind word to someone to encourage them, that
Exactly.
some
And
people
it's a
don't get that.
growth process. It's a growth
It
process.
is.
We,
It
we,
is.
we were not born, and I am so glad that we were not born grown.
Right. Yeah.
None of us were born grown. We were born as small, helpless entities to be shaped and supported, and for information to be imputed into us, for us to be modeled before so that we could follow. It is a growth
Growth
process.
process.
And because the thing is, I can have little kids, babies have great eyesight, but if you put the alphabet in front of them without teaching them what it is, they have no cognizant knowledge or comprehension of how to use that same alphabet to make words and then sentences, paragraphs, stories, messages, history. You you don't have, it is a growth
A growth
process.
process.
And the
Yes.
same thing happens within the body of the kingdom.
It's a
It's a
growth
growth
process.
process.
Right.
And
Right.
every one of us, that there is the funny thing is, if you look in the word, there is no retirement, earthly retirement program.
You're right.
There,
You're
there's
right.
there's no earthly retirement program.
Mm. You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
The prophets
Selah.
didn't retire. The prophets got taken to glory.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, you're right. You're right. And that's something that's something I had to read up on some more. Yep, definitely. Definitely. But I tell you what, we're definitely um going to walk by faith. Those that are not, please, I admonish you to walk by faith. Those that are doing it, let's continue to walk by faith. There's a blessing in it. On the other side, there's a blessing in it. You hold on, hold out. One of the old songs that that the older generation used to sing, I am determined to hold out to the end. Jesus is with me. On him I can depend. I forgot the other part of it. I know I have salvation. I can something, 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 but I am determined to
I'm determined. Yes, yes.
hold out to
And
the
and,
end.
and then look, Portia, you can take that back to the spirituals, because the was even further than that. They just said, I'm determined to walk with Jesus.
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am. Through hard trials, tribulations,
Woo!
persecutions.
I'll still be faithful. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. All right. This is good. This is good. My audience, our audience, God's audience, please share. Share this with someone, whether they're a believer or a non-believer. Everybody needs hope, encouragement, and inspiration. So I encourage you to do that. Be blessed. Thank you again, Carmi. I really appreciate you and your word you shared. God bless you. And on that note, we shall see you on tomorrow. Blessings.